Okay, everybody, welcome back. So in this section here, this is another video where I'm showing you a little bit about Ableton Live and how I'm using it, and I'm still learning as I'm going. So I think in the last video, depending on what order I publish these in, you saw my introduction to Ableton, talking about the difference between arrangement view and session view. And I said that for beginners, you know, just starting off, working in session view, or some people call it clip view or clip mode, this is the easy way to do that. You can go back and watch that video. If you just want to play your tracks, you don't want to work in arrangement mode, you just want to play your clips, you can build an entire set list by launching a song from slot 1 all the way down, as many as you can put in, and you can just play your, hit the play button and it'll just play your track from top to bottom, and that's it. But as I'm learning more about Ableton, as I said in the last video, arrangement view is really where, or some people call it performance view, is really where most of the more experienced people that use this in a live setting use. And I've always shied away from it, part of me being new to Ableton, but now I'm starting to embrace it for a couple of reasons. One is it allows you to move around in the sections of the song at will, whether you're in rehearsal or live, and I'll talk about setting location markers and stuff in this video. And two, when we get to the next videos, how we can use MIDI automation to program things like lighting, and so you can program light changes with an additional piece of software that I'm going to show you. You can also program camera angle changes, all kinds of stuff that you can do in this arrangement view or performance view that really goes beyond what you can do in clip mode or session view. Although I've heard that you can do them in both, but when you look on YouTube and all the tutorials and some of the paid training that I've taken on Ableton, I find that most guys and gals are using performance or arrangement view. That's what most people are doing in a live setting. And although we're only dealing with one song in this particular session, I'm going to show you in a future video how I take all my individual songs and build them into a master set list for a gig. Okay, so that's where we are. So what I want to show you in this video specifically is what I've done up to this point since the last video. So in the last video, you saw that I had a whole bunch of songs, probably 50 of these on the right-hand side in the master column over here. All the songs that I was using to just play back the clips that I had mentioned. What I've done since that time is I broke down each one of those individual songs into its own song file. So in this case, I copied all the files from my master song list for this song, Sarah Smile by Daryl Hall and John Oates, and I brought it into a brand new Ableton song file. Okay, so every song has its own song file. That's kind of step one to being able to use arrangement mode or performance mode in a live setting. So if I were to minimize this, you'll see that in my folder here, I have on my hard drive called Ableton song files. So if you look in here, I have a project for every one of the songs. There were 50 backing tracks that I've done so far. So I have 50 different sessions or song files. In each one of those, you have the Ableton live session. You also have all of the project information for the Ableton session, a backup, as I have it set to automatically back up every so many minutes, and then all the audio files that are associated, the WAV files that are associated with that particular song, much like you would do in Studio One, Pro Tools, or anything else. Okay, so once I've gotten to this point, now the next step for me was to open up each one of those song files and to drag them from clip mode into, take them from this stage where they were all originally from clip mode or session view, and bringing them over into arrangement view, and then setting location markers so I can start finding different sections of the song. So I want to show you how to do that. I've already done this for this particular song, Sarah Smile, but what I want to do is I want to show you how to get it to this point. So if I just were to come over here, and I'm going to open up one of my my original master file that we saw in the last video, which is right here, my master set. Okay, so we're going to open up my master set, and this is in session view or clip view. It's loading all the files, takes a second, and here's all the songs that was in the master set. Okay. And as I said a second ago, if I were to now let this finish loading up all the clips, it takes a couple of seconds when there's 50 songs and 8 tracks per. As you can see, when I hit my tab key and I come over to arrangement view, there's no WAV files here. It's only running in this mode, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to take, let's say, the first song here, to develop its own, I want to create its own song file or its own Ableton project file for each one of the songs. I'm going to show you to do that. So from here, I'm going to leave this open for a second and come over to File. I'm going to go create a new live set. Okay. And we're going to use Closing Time is the first song by Semisonic. Okay. And it's going to bring up an empty template or an empty default, blank project. Okay. I'm going to turn these on and I'll get more into the layout of this in another video. So now from here, I want to bring just the closing time, just one song worth of files into clip mode. Here's clip mode or session mode. Here's arrangement view. Okay. As you can see, there are no tracks here, just the MIDI track, which is a default when you open up a new project. So what I'm going to do is it's untitled. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save it, and I'll save this on my desktop just for this example. So I'm going to save live set as. I'm going to save it on the desktop so I don't screw up everything I've already been doing with my set. And I'm just going to call this closing time. Okay. You could do the song and the artist name, whatever, save it. Okay. Now that it's saved, I'm going to come back over to File and I'm going to go Open Recent Set and I'm going to go back to my master template. Okay. The thing about Ableton that I don't like, which you can do in Studio One, is you can have two projects or two song files open at the same time and just toggle back and forth. Ableton, you can't do that. As soon as I go back to the master set list, this session closing time is going to close and I'll show you. So you got to make sure you save it first. I'm going to go master set. Okay, here we are, back to the master. I'm going to click on the very first one in the top right-hand corner, closing time. Now I want to hit the little play button. And the reason why I want to hit the play button is you can see Semisonic closing time is at 92 BPM. Okay. If you look over here in the top right-hand corner, left-hand corner of Ableton, you'll see up here, let me click up here and I'll edit this. We're at 120, almost 121 beats per minute. We want it to be at 92. So watch what happens to this 120 when I click the play button. See how it went to 92? So the first thing I want to do is I want to hit play. I want to get the tempo right. Now all the little play buttons are in all the different clips across from left to right for this song, Closing Time by Semisonic. I'm going to right click on this closing time. I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to come over to File, Open Recent Set, and I'm going to go to Closing Time, the session that, or the song or the project that we just created and saved. Okay. It's going to ask me, do I want to save this? Say yes. Now I'm back here in the Closing Time new project. I'm going to right click right in the first slot. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say paste. Okay. And that brought in all of my stuff at 92 beats per minute. And you can see up here in the top left-hand corner, the metronome or the tempo says 120. Well, why is that? Well, when I click the play button, watch what happens. Again, it goes to 92. Why? Because in Ableton, whenever you have the name of the song here in the master track output, you have to have the number and the letters BPM. It's got to say 92 BPM. It could say anything you want to the left of that. It could have the name of the song, just the artist, just the song, Mickey Mouse, whatever, but it has to say the BPM. If it doesn't, what will happen is it won't line up and the metronome won't line up. It'll stay at 120. Okay. Because you're going to have a different tempo for every song, you want that to change. Okay. So you just hit the play button, make sure that it changes. Now I want to bring these files into arrangement view. Because if I click over to arrangement view with the tab key, you'll see there's no files here, just like on the last thing I showed you. So how do I get these files, these audio files, which are MP3s or waves, most of the time they're waves, in here? Really simple. So we can start working in arrangement view. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to the first track, which is the count in, okay, which is the, you'll hear here in a second.
Intro, breakdown, 3, 4.
Or the cue track, okay, and we got the click track. We have some empty tracks here. Other is empty. The last guitar track is empty. And the reason why that's empty is because in my master file that I showed you, I have, 50 songs? Not every song has every single track filled up, right? Because some songs have different instrumentation than others, so it'll just stay blank and that's okay. If I click highlight, see I have a little box that highlights over the count in. Hold down my shift key and then I'm going to come over here to the lead or the last track guitar, even though there's nothing in it. Now you'll see that all the boxes are around all the different tracks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down, just click on the first one, count in. Okay, I've taken my hands off the mouse and off the shift key. Everything's highlighted. I am going to left click on count in, and I'm going to keep the mouse button depressed. Keep it clicked. Just click it once and hold it. Then I'm going to hit, while I'm doing that, I'm going to hit the tab key on my keyboard. And as you can see, all the files now are here. And I'm going to move it up to the first track, which was what? Which was the count in, not the MIDI, the count in. I'm going to drag it all the way over to the beginning of the session. I'm going to let go of the mouse key now. Did it work? Oh, let me go back. I might have done that wrong. I might have done that while I was teaching. Let me do it again. Hold the first one. Again, I'm still new at this. Hold the last one. Hold it down. Hit the tab key. I might have went too far over. I want to go over to the count in. There we go. So there we go. So now we have all the tracks here and you can see them all. Now they're all grayed out. And you may say, well, why are they grayed out? They're deactivated. So when you're working in Ableton, again, you have arrangement view, which is what we're looking at, and we have clip view or session view. Only one can be active at a time. So this, when you first, because we were active, we played the track to get the tempo to change. We activated session view. So when we come to arrangement view, everything is grayed out. The way you activate those tracks is you come up here to this little orange button, the little play button, hit that. And now you'll see all the tracks are here, okay? So now all of our tracks are in arrangement view. And if I play the song back from the beginning with the space bar.
Intro, breakdown, 3, 4.
Okay? And there's my song. Everything's there. So now I'm playing back from arrangement mode. Okay, so that's how I create from the master file with all of my songs to create its own special song file. Now what I want to do is I want to go through, and this is what I was just doing as I started to finish up before I started recording this video. I did this for all 50 songs. Got everything first from the master list into session view, brought all the tracks, all the files into arrangement view. And now the next step for me to set these songs up for live performance, there's two things I'm going to do. Well, actually three, but I'm only going to show you one in this video. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set location markers for different sections of the song, and I'll explain why in a second. The video after that is where I'm going to add a MIDI track, and I'm going to start programming the lighting cues for the lighting rig, which I'm going to show you. And then the last video, when I get around to it, will be programming another MIDI track to do camera angle changes, and I'll show you that later. But let's start simple. So what I want to do is if I come up to the top here, you'll see the pointer, the tool changes from a speaker to an hourglass. If I left click and pull down, I'm going to zoom out here. And then I'm just going to drag over here to the beginning of the song, hit the stop button to get the playhead back to the beginning. So I want to add markers. And the reason why I want to add markers at different sections of the song is, let's say during rehearsal, we're jamming along and we go, oh, we got to replay that chorus. When you're in clip mode, session view, if this only plays the song from top to bottom. If you get stuck in the center and you want to go back to the second chorus and just perform from the second chorus and work out that part, you can't do it in this view, at least not easily, but you can do it in arrangement view, and I'm going to show you. So our playhead's already back to the beginning of the song, right? There it is. So I'm going to bring it back to the beginning. If I hover my mouse over between the marker, this little gray area right here, it turns into a little speaker. If I right click, I'm going to add a locator. You're going to see the number 1, and I'm going to name it intro. Now I can take this little triangle, left click, and I could drag it anywhere. I'm going to drag it all the way back to the beginning. Okay. So I know that that's the intro. So now what I do is I bring my playhead to the different sections of where the cue is counting in, so I know what section of the song I'm at.
Intro, breakdown,
intro.
3, 4.
Then I come over here.
Verse.
So there's the verse. So a measure before the verse, I come up here, my little speaker, right click, add a locator, verse 1. Okay. Then I just hold down my shift key and scroll my mouse to this next section where it changes. I'll just come right before it. Click right in here. When you hit play, it's going to play right back where the playhead is located.
Chorus.
Chorus. Come up right beneath the timeline, get to the little speaker, right click, chorus 1. Okay. Scroll over to the next section.
Verse.
Verse 2. Oop. Okay. And if you don't know the song, you can listen to it in real time from beginning to end, and you can stop the playhead wherever you want, and you can do this. I know these songs well enough. We've been playing them for 6 months. So I know because of the cue and where the count, where the little girl here is telling us where the song changes are, I know that's correct because I set these up.
Chorus.
Another chorus. Now we're chorus 2. CH2. There's probably a break here, a breakdown.
Breakdown 2.
That's like the breakdown of the bridge. Okay, I can call it the break. Call it whatever you want. Again, and what I'm doing is I'm just coming before every one of the cue changes.
Solo.
Solo. And I'm going to show you in a second why this is handy.
Verse.
Verse 3. And I know there's another chorus.
Breakdown.
Breakdown. Well,
Breakdown 2, 3, 4. Chorus.
so you can put one at the breakdown. You can put it at the chorus. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it at the chorus. I'll back it up. Well, let me add a locator here. And let me just go, what's this, chorus 4 or chorus 3? If I put that in the wrong spot, I can just left click back and it'll snap to the grid. And if you want to change the way you want to change the grid setting, you can just come anywhere here and just right click and you can change it to whatever you want, to a fixed grid. You can make it look narrow, wide right now. Okay, so there you go. So there's chorus 4. So chorus 3 or chorus 4? No, it should be chorus 3. I'm just zooming in and out here with my magnifying glass. So this should not be chorus 4, it should be chorus 3. So if I hover over it and right click, I can rename it. Chorus 3. Okay, and then I come down to here. I think this is a
Breakdown 2, 3, 4.
It's really kind of the outro or the breakdown. You can call it whatever you want. And then we have at the end.
End.
Right, so I want the ending. Okay. Oops. E and D. Okay, so now I'm going to save this. Now you may say, well, why is this important? Why do you want to have markers here for every song? Because let's say, again, during rehearsal or even during a performance, let's say you're jamming out and you want to repeat a section or you want to just go to a different section very quickly. If I click chorus 2 with my mouse and hit play.
Chorus 2, 3, 4.
Or if I want to go to the outro.
Breakdown 2, 3, 4.
Or go to verse 1.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
Now let's say it's playing back. I'm going to do that again. Let it play, and then in real time, without stopping it, I'm going to go to the first chorus. Watch what happens. So we're on verse.
Verse 2, 3.
See how it's flashing?
Chorus 2, 3, 4.
So it waits the next measure. It will automatically change. So this is really handy for rehearsal. Let's say you're getting down to the guitar solo part and you go, geez, we want to work that out as a band again. We kind of screwed up between the break and the solo. Can we back up the playhead? You can't do that in this view here. Again, clip view or session view is just play the clip from top to bottom. You can't go stop at the second chorus. At least I haven't found a way to do that. That's why most cats use this, because this way you can do this. Now, even live, this can be helpful. Again, I'm still learning. I haven't really gotten this far yet, where you can loop different sections on the fly. Let's say there's a solo in the song here, right? And it's 8 bars. But let's say you guys decide, you know what? We're going to play live. We're going to make that guitar solo wants to get his guitar solo on and he wants to play 16 bars. Or you can loop that. You can double up the sections. You can do, like you would in any DAW, in arrangement mode or on a timeline, you can slice and dice and chop things up and automate things easily. You can't do that here. Okay. So that's what I do here. I go ahead and I put all the markers in. So that's how you take off the master list, drag things in to clip mode, session view, then get them over into arrangement view, put my markers in. So once I have my markers in, and if I have tracks, I have nothing on it like this other track, because this particular song, the other doesn't have anything, I just minimize it to kind of save myself some real estate. All the other tracks are here. You could even, just resize these a little bit if you want to make them smaller so you can fit them all on the screen. I'm doing this on my 27-inch desktop computer, but these are eventually going to go on my laptop. I'm doing all this work on a bigger screen, and then it's going to be all resized and whatnot, but you can do that. Oops. There we go. And then this one has nothing on it. Here's the master track here, which we'll talk about in another video when we start to take all of these different song files, and then we want to create a master show or set list for a show in arrangement view. not in clip view like I showed you in the other file. We're going to use the master track to automate the tempo between one song and another, which we'll do in another video. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. Again, this is just another way, another video. I'll do 3 or 4 of these videos in Ableton to show you how I use Ableton for our particular live streaming setup. Okay, so thanks so much. Let me know, comments below, what you guys think of this video. And also, how do you use backing tracks when you play live? Do you use backing tracks? And if you do, what do you use? Do you use a different DAW? Do you use Ableton? Do you have any more tips and tricks that you might be able to share with me? Because I'm still a newbie. I would really appreciate it. So leave your comments below. And also, don't forget, make sure you go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, get your 5 free mixing training courses. Also go to mixingmadeeasy.net, check out the mixing membership website, leave comments below, give me the thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.